Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Intercode Podcast. I am one of your hosts, the billionaire himself, Ryan Welch.
And I am the one and only Triple J, John Jefferson Jr., your co-host.
What's up? Yeah, John, I'm a billionaire now.
A billionaire? Oh,
a billionaire. So, for all of our friends who are either not addicted to it yet or have already succumbed to the addiction of Animal Crossing New Horizons,
don't do it.
I went ahead and had a really nice turnip day where my turnip prices were 651 bells. So, to put this in perspective, there's they call it a stock market, but it's kind of more gambling with turnips in Animal Crossing. I think that's pretty fair to say. So anyway, I gambled a whole bunch of the currency, which is bells, and had a really good day on Thursday. So I'm sitting on 11.5 million right now.
Yeah, I wish it was real money, but even though it's virtual, he still ain't sharing.
No, I'm not. No, I'm going to buy so many just silly things from the shop. I'm very excited.
So many unnecessary appliances and decoration. I can just see your house now. Oh my goodness.
I think at this point, I'm only going to be able to call myself a billionaire. I'm predicting 2 episodes. So by episode 4, I'll be the, I don't know, poor bellboy.
He'll be the formerly known as billionaire.
The broke.
Yeah.
The one and only broke Ryan Welch. That's right.
He'll be down here with the lesser folk.
That's right. Well, everyone, welcome to another episode of the Intercode Podcast. We're excited to bring you all kinds of nerdy news. We are talking video games. We're talking movies. We love talking about wrestling. We're talking about video games. I already said that, but that's okay. Also talking about, action figures, collectibles, anything that you guys want to hear, we'll talk about.
And things that just, make us happy.
Yes, exactly.
And hopefully you laugh along with us. I mean, you said you enjoyed episode 1, so let's hope episode 2 is even better,
We really, really appreciate the feedback so far. If you have any more feedback, we are on Twitter at EnterCodePod. We also have a Facebook page that John set up for us, which is awesome. So you can like us on Facebook, and we'll kind of go from there. We're on a variety of podcast services now, so hopefully you'll be listening in and tuning into this episode. We also have on our, I guess, the flagship program that we use, we record on Anchor.fm. So on Anchor.fm, we have a way for you to leave voicemails that we can include in the podcast. So voicemails such as this.
Hi, long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm really excited to hear you guys are really finally take this show on the road. I'm really stoked to hear the next episode, and I really hope that you all just bring that fire next time. Again, I thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jason.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Our number one fan, obviously. Jason Germino is the owner and founder and the guy who pushes Game Octane to do amazing things year after year. So we appreciate Jason, and we appreciate Jason listening in and also letting us post these podcasts as well on GameOctane.com.
Oh, yeah.
We really appreciate that. I hope that you will be able to leave us some voicemails in the future, because it's going to be a great way that we can get your input into the podcast, and we can get some questions or concerns or feedback or anything like that to hopefully make the podcast better. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to some of the things we want to talk about this week.
Let's do it.
So we want to start off with some news with video games in general and just everything we're interested in with wrestling and with movies and TV and all that good stuff. News comes a mile a minute. So we picked out a couple stories that we thought was really interesting or funny or head scratching. And so we want to talk about it a little bit. So story number 1 that was on my radar this week. John, I know for a fact, does not play Fortnite.
I do not. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I just want to shoot things. I don't want to build. I don't want to do the Harlem Shuffle or shake or floss on someone's grave after I shoot them. I don't want to have to build a castle in the sky just to snipe you from miles away. Fortnite makes me want to rage.
Look, you don't have to build the stuff. You can just go and shoot people.
No, because everyone else is building stuff, and by the time I get close enough, they're just, you're dead. You're dead.
It's all right.
And I hear some kid on my mic.
Yeah, that part's the worst part. I do agree with that. I make my boys try not to either turn the volume up or I make sure that they don't have their microphone in so they can't hear the garbage.
No.
That's being
Yes.
shouted out at them. Anyway, with Fortnite, they have been having some success with various promotional activities.
Yeah.
So a couple weeks ago, they had some pretty famous DJs doing sets,
Oh, yeah.
which is kind of cool. They've had Star Wars like clip premieres. They've had stuff like that. So this week, of all the things that they could have done as a promotional situation, they decided to run the new trailer for Christopher Nolan's newest movie, Tenet.
Which that looks awesome, by the way.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. If you haven't seen the trailer, it's that perfect Christopher Nolan trailer where you think you may have an idea what it's about, and then it's just really confusing.
You have no idea.
No, not a clue. Time's involved.
Yeah, I've seen the trailers after trailers, and I still have no idea what to expect. It just, I know he's attached to it, so I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's just, of all the things to put in Fortnite, having a trailer for his newest movie is interesting.
Yeah.
And not only that, they announced that there will be showing a full-length Christopher Nolan movie in Fortnite. One of his previous ones that has been released.
Okay, fine. Maybe I'll play now. Probably not. Not. I'll just watch your kids play.
Yeah. So here's how it usually goes. When they have a promotional event going on, concert, whatever it is. So imagine the normal server amount of people in there. 50, 100, I think it's 100. Anyway, you can have 100 people in the server in one of the servers, basically, in one of the matches. And so there's a big screen that they have with, speakers, and it's all nice and shiny and, all that pizzazz. So then you have all these people driving ATVs around, and you have people doing their emotes, and you have people with different skins, and they're all jumping around, and they have these inflatable things that they bounce up and down and all over and over. So for a 2.5-minute trailer, sure, you can get away with it, and it's fine, and it's not too annoying. With concerts, it's not too bad because you can still listen to the music and it's not too bad. But I can't imagine like a 2-hour to 2.5-hour movie and kids just sitting there and wanting to watch it.
Especially his movies, like, yeah.
What would you think they would show? If you could pick any Christopher Nolan movie that would play in Fortnite, what would you think they'd play?
Does he have a kid-friendly movie?
No.
No. Can you imagine you see Gotham, I am your reckoning.
Oh
yeah, that's Bane. Okay. Or the Joker.
The fire rises, brother. Won't you come into Fortnite and build your structure so I may shoot him down, Batman?
Or even doing the Joker. You want to see how I got my scars? Yeah, that's,
But I would watch that.
I would watch that. I love those movies. I just don't know that it's Fortnite friendly.
Right.
Unless you did like a clean flicks version of that. I don't know.
Maybe. Inception?
It
could work. Just that's one of his longer movies.
I guess my thing is, how are you going to get kids to sit there and watch that? Because most of the time, kids are playing on with their buddies and they just want to go and have fun. And
Right. So maybe if of all his movies, maybe Batman Begins.
Okay, that's a tamer one.
Because I can see they did an event earlier where they sold skins. The Batman, Catwoman. I think there was a couple other DC Batman skins that they had.
Okay.
But anyway, they already did like a Batman event, so I can imagine they might show a movie. I don't know. I don't see any kid just jumping in there and being like, "Yeah, let's go watch that movie."
No.
Especially since most of his stuff have been on Netflix or rotate in and out, and
True.
There's just so many streaming services that will do it. So yeah, very interesting kind of turn of events, I guess you can say. There will be more for sure. Fortnite is all about doing these, especially now that most of the country's still doing stay-at-home orders. They're going to be doing more concerts and more things like that. So
gotta have some fun during all this craziness.
Yes. So stay tuned, all you Fortnite fans, because I'm sure there's going to be more coming. I don't know if Batman and Christopher Nolan are the team up that I was really expecting, but what are you going to do?
It's okay. Disney's going to swoop in and they're just going to take over like they do everything else.
Wow.
I love Disney. I'm just saying.
Not after this quarantine, man. There's no way. There's no way. So shifting gears to our next story, we got some news from PlayStation this week about a brand new special edition, collector's edition, special edition, whatever you want to call
Limited edition.
Limited edition. We'll call it a limited edition. A limited edition PS4 Pro system that is themed around Last of Us Part 2. So if you haven't heard of Last of Us Part 2, pretty intense, incredible Sony exclusive. There's been a little bit of controversy the past couple months because some story items already leaked online and kind of a bad situation, but they're still pushing through and the game's going to release June 19th. But they have a new system that is themed around Last of Us Part 2. John, did you see the picture?
I did see the picture,
Okay.
and I'm not hating on it. We're not trying to. It doesn't do anything for me. Like, yeah, it's black and it's themed like that, and the controller says Last of Us, but I guess I want more when it comes to like a special edition console. So like, the God of War, or, even though the Spider-Man console was just the Spider-Man red with the white logo, but it looks so crisp and clean. And, even the Final Fantasy 13?
Yes.
That one was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just, some variation, something that stands out more. But
right. With this console, it looks etched in the design, and it's a type of leaf. Please don't shoot me. I'm not a plant person or a tree person.
Right.
But it's a kind of leaf in there, and it's a symbol for one of the, I want to say that bad group. Anyway, there's bad guys.
I know people are going to love it and people are going to go get it. And, to each their own. It's just not for me. No. And I know that I have friends that are like, I need that. And I'm like, hey, get it. I know what it's like to be a collector and need to get stuff because, that's your thing. You should see my office that we're working in right now. Oh. I'm sure, I posted some of the pictures on our Twitter. That's not even half of what I have. I just don't have the space for it. So I get it. Being a collector, you got to catch them all and have all the shinies and everything.
That's right.
But
That's right.
I don't know. I'll stick with what I got.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. It's interesting. And Xbox is doing the same thing, so we're not bashing on Sony by any means. No. Xbox is doing the same thing with a Cyberpunk edition of the Xbox
pretty.
X. It's beautiful. I would buy it in a heartbeat if I had that money. Again, if we can somehow convert Animal Crossing currency to real life dollars, then I'll be set.
Oh, yeah.
I can buy all the toys, all the things.
I can make money so fast in that game. I wish I could make it that fast in real life.
Yeah, not in this market. I'm not going to be gambling and doing stocks and turnips and things like that. Anyway, that's besides the point.
Yeah. Although, speaking of Animal Crossing, I did hear a funny story from a coworker.
Do it.
Because she's not someone who I would think would play video games, but she was like, just kind of out of the blue, she's like, yeah, I literally bought a Switch in Animal Crossing so I could play with my boyfriend because of the social distancing. I was like, okay. And then she went and you could see all of her excitement. And I was like, so how's your island? What's your fruit? And is your house maxed out? And she looks at me. She's like, yeah. I didn't realize how bad I was going to be in this. But yeah, my house is fully. I've got all the rooms. I've spent so much on like clothing and I've got this little garden. And yeah, I was just like, you're just adorable right now. That was awesome.
Video games bringing us together.
Virtual dates. There you go.
Virtual dates. That's exactly right. I love it. No, past couple months have been one of the best quarters of the video game industry in a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
Which, hey, go figure. Lots of people buying video games.
Well, heck, I went to GameStop the other day and just seeing how they're doing, they're like, oh, yeah, we're making a killing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like their online sales. And I was like, all right.
That's right. Yeah. Buying online and either shipping or curbside has been a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. So I think I'm not gonna go for it because especially with new consoles coming this holiday, which we'll talk about later on in the show.
Yes.
As our main topic for the day. As we continue talking about video games, there was another story that came out which I thought was pretty interesting. For those of you who are not familiar with subscription services with Xbox and with PlayStation, there's two options available where you can play essentially for a specific price. You can have a library of games that you could play. For PlayStation, it's called PlayStation Now. For Xbox, it's Xbox Game Pass. So during a Sony conference, like a corporate strategy meeting, if you want to say that. Yeah, that's fancy.
Yeah, right.
We'll say that.
We're not that fancy.
No, we're not. We're not. At some meeting.
That's
basically
that makes it great.
During this corporate strategy meeting, they announced that the amount of subscribers for PlayStation Now passed 2.2 million subscribers, which is awesome. I mean, it's a lot of people taking advantage of some really good PlayStation games that are online.
Mm-hmm.
However,
here we go.
There's a little thing called Xbox Game Pass that has 10 million subscribers. I know. I have to give John a little bit of a hard time because he does prefer Sony, as he mentioned in the last episode. I do prefer Xbox, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We have love for all consoles.
We do.
That being said, Xbox is smoking Sony in this area.
Yeah, no comment. What's that deer coming?
I know, right? We're out of here. And I lost my co-host. Why do you think there's so little with PlayStation and so many with Xbox? Because they have roughly the same amount of games, right?
They do. I don't know. I feel like just the caliber of games maybe speak to people more on like Xbox Game Pass. I mean, heck, when it first came out, you had Gears 5 that you got right off the bat.
That's right.
And that game was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the ones you've got on there now, you've got the Forza games.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the Forzas, you've got Halo. Some other big ones on there. Bleeding Edge.
Yep.
That's a good one that's going to be on there. Or it is on there.
That's right.
Streets of Rage 4 is on there. I haven't seen that on the PlayStation Now. So
yep, not yet.
As much as I love Sony, I haven't invested in the PlayStation Now just because it hasn't spoke to me. The library on there.
Yeah. The exclusives that PlayStation Now has are usually they're big titles, so we buy them right when they come out.
Yeah,
basically.
I already have them.
Yeah, I think it's Spider-Man that came out this month.
Mm-hmm.
That was their big PlayStation Now title for the month. So, I mean, obviously that was like a day one purchase for me. So,
oh yeah, you had to have Spider-Man. Like, I will not get rid of that game.
No.
I got the special edition Steelbook statue and everything. It's great.
Oh man, see, I got digital.
I need the physical with that.
I know you do. I know, collector. I know.
Like I said, I'm a collector. I need this stuff.
You need.
Give me the shiny. Let's go.
Yeah, Xbox is doing really, really well with Game Pass, and yeah, you already touched on it. The fact that they have their exclusives come out on Game Pass, and they are same day and date as it would be in the stores. So, it's not like you have to wait for a month to play Gears 5. You play it right on launch day.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And you have a really good variety of AAA titles as well as indie titles, family friendly to horror to action. Again, tons of options.
Yeah.
And what's great about Game Pass, and this is another thing I think is probably adding to this. I don't think they mentioned it in the articles that I've read, but the Xbox Game Pass, they have an ultimate version where it comes with Xbox Live, which is the subscription service that you can play online multiplayer, and it also gives you games for your PC. So you're paying $15 a month for 100 plus titles on Xbox, PC, and you're playing online with friends. So pretty killer deal.
It's an ultimate package.
Yeah, it is. And, I will say, just as an editor's note, that John's opinion was not purchased by Xbox when he won a free year subscription of Game Pass.
I wasn't going to say anything about that, but yeah, I got it for free at E3. It was great.
It was great. I only got a month, but that's fine.
Yeah. I'm enjoying that. Thanks, Xbox.
I know,
Y'all
right?
my friends.
Well, and they also, and one other thing I'll mention, I forgot to mention this, is they have a lot of deals where you can get a certain amount of months for a really cheap price.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you can get like your first month for $1 or first 3 months for $5. You know, they have little deals that go on all the time
Yes.
for Xbox Game Pass. So if you haven't invested in any of that and you have a PlayStation or an Xbox, look into those services. They can really save you some money down the road, especially if there's some games that you know you're not going to buy right away because they're too expensive, or they come out with 50 million other games and you have to obviously spend your money wisely,
Right.
basically.
It's a nice service. I mean, kind of like what Ryan was saying. Like, the great thing about that is you don't have to spend $60 on a game that you may or may not want to keep. You're paying the membership, and it's kind of like Netflix. You can be done with it when you want.
Yep, that's true. Cancel anytime.
Yes.
Why would you cancel?
I don't know. People do silly things. I just, yeah.
They really do. They really do. Well, the final news story we want to discuss is not exactly a great story. We wish it was something a little bit different. But as we mentioned in the first episode, we are big wrestling fans. And a wrestler that I think it's fair to say that we grew up with. I mean, he was around when we were, teenagers getting into wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of the time frame. Anyway, the Aggression era, if anyone.
Around, yeah, I think so.
Or early 2000s, I would say.
Yeah.
Anyway, a great wrestler, Shad Gaspard is his name. And you might have heard him in the news, but he was at the beach with his son and they got caught in a riptide and got separated. Unfortunately, Shad didn't make it, and so he passed away. 39 years old, I believe.
Yeah.
I think the really heartbreaking part, it's heartbreaking that he passed away so young, but I think what makes the situation way worse is, and not worse, but like just more heartbreaking, is he was able to signal to the lifeguards to save his son. So he was able to point out where his son was. Lifeguards saved him. But they couldn't get to Shad before he got taken away by the current.
Yeah. Like, with this going on and just kind of seeing like, current and former wrestlers and celebrities just kind of talking about him and their experience. I'm like, I never met the guy personally, but just, he always seemed like he was a nice guy. Just, he was entertaining watching him and his tag team partner back in the day and the matches they would put on. And, being a big guy myself, come to find out behind the scenes, he was a gentle giant. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm not the only one. Cool. But it's kind of, as a parent, to have that as your last image and knowing, hey, I was able to save my kid, even though that was like my final moment on this earth. And, our prayers and thoughts go out to his family at this time. And yeah, I couldn't imagine what the thoughts that were going through his mind being in that. Like, I have fears right now as it is, just when I'm away from my kid, of what's going on. Is she safe? What's going to happen if I'm not there?
Yeah, right. Exactly right. My biggest memory of Shad was, I think, the way he made the best of a crappy situation in the WWE. So for those of you who don't know, he was part of a tag team called Crime Time.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the persona that they took on as Crime Time.
Yeah, let that marinate. Imagine the kind of image you're presenting with that as your tag team name.
Yes. If you really need to go deeper into what we're talking about, there's a very interesting YouTube video of Vince McMahon I think he was wearing a do-rag. And he said, the word that shall not be spoken.
Oh, did he really?
Oh, you haven't seen it?
Oh, I don't know that no, I can't see that. That word.
Well, let me just set the stage real quick.
Okay.
And it's insane. John Cena, this was during the rap phase.
Okay.
Thugonomics.
Okay.
Guy. So Vince comes up and he says, "What's up, so-and-so?"
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh my.
Oh my, yes. So then you see Cena's face, you see kind of the eyes wide. What? And then the camera pans away and he walks past Booker T. And Jacqueline? I think that was her name. Was she the manager when he was King Booker?
Oh, his wife.
That was, yeah. But no, okay, so
No.
it's not Jacqueline.
No.
It's
No, Miss Jackie was before that.
right. Okay. So yeah. So his manager,
Mhm.
wife, yeah. So you can imagine.
Mm.
Yeah. So this is all out in the open.
Okay.
It's on YouTube.
Okay.
If you feel like going down that road.
Nope. Okay. You've already set emotions going on in me, as I can already hear that. Okay.
So knowing that aspect of the racism that is in WWE that has been rampant for years and years and years, and seeing him take the best of a crappy situation and still perform really well.
Yeah.
And embrace the character in a way where it's like, okay, this sucks, but I'm going to give it my best because the fans love me and they appreciate the hard work. So I've always appreciated that of him and his tag team partner, because it was a tag team, but it was just crappy situation.
The thing that I liked about him is, even though with that name, I never felt like, I guess they were very much that stereotype of what they were supposed to be portraying. They got out there and they were just having a good time. Like, and that's kind of one of the things that I've loved about WWE, like in general. Like, a lot of these wrestlers are given, not the best gimmicks or, character developments, and they try to make the best of it. Like, I mean, heck, Mick Foley's had how many different personas?
3 big ones.
And like, he was always entertaining to watch.
Yes.
I mean, Mankind is still my favorite. Probably the earlier Mankind, when, his feud with Undertaker and the Hell in a Cell. Oh, that match to this day still gives me goosebumps.
That's right. If you want to see a great video of who that I think portrays Shad very, very well and kind of shows who he is, especially with all the stories that a bunch of wrestlers talked about after his passing and on social media and stuff. There's a great video of him and MVP watching Kofi win the belt. And he gets emotional and he's crying just seeing that moment, because obviously it didn't happen a lot in the WWE. And that was a really cool moment, I think. Just both of them just appreciating the moment and getting emotional about it. So he was a gentle giant, and by all accounts and purposes, he was well loved, not only in the universe, the WWE universe, but among all his peers. There was even he did some work in some movies, and there were some actors and actresses who also, same thing, just great guy taken away too soon. Very, very sad. So
it just goes to show you enjoy every moment that you can, because you never know when, just in an instant, you're gone.
Exactly right. Okay, our main topic for this evening is a topic that was presented by one of our new Twitter followers, Darth Maul 23 Gaming. Darth, thank you so much for the questions and the input and the idea, because I think it's a good one. I think it's a good one to talk about, especially as we get closer to the holiday season, because we have new consoles coming out.
Yeah, we do.
This holiday season, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, that just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Does it?
The Xbox Series X.
That's a mouthful.
Will be arriving this holiday season.
I mean, just listen. Xbox Series X or just PlayStation 5.
That's like the 1 point you get.
Hey, I will take any victory I can get right now.
That's all you get.
Let's go.
That's all you get. So Darth Maul 23 Gaming went ahead and he asked us what we expect with these upcoming launches this holiday. Specifically, prices. What do you think the price is going to be?
Oh, man.
John's eyes are rolling in the back of his head. That's such a hard question, but we'll get to that in a second. Launch titles, and more specifically, what do we want to see out of these? So before we give our thoughts and our input, let me just give a rundown real quick of what to expect. Both of these consoles are going to be next generation. That means the consoles we have now and turn it up to 11. They're going to be beautiful machines.
Yes.
And it's going to be amazing. Some specs, if you are really into this. When we're looking at GPU, the Xbox Series X will have 12 teraflops. Yes, teraflops. PlayStation 5 only has 10.28. It doesn't matter.
It
My
doesn't.
goodness,
It
that's
really doesn't.
1.5. It's fine. It's gonna run great. Both of them are gonna have custom CPUs that run really, really well. 16 gigabyte memory for both. Tons of bandwidth for both of them. Most likely, we'll get either a terabyte or close to a terabyte in storage.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Both of them are going to have 4K resolution. Right now, the Xbox Series X announced that it will handle HDR, and I'm assuming PlayStation 5 is going to.
They
right?
have to be able to compete.
Yeah, they have to. 4K Blu-ray players. Anyway, it's going to be beautiful. So the big question again, because we do prefer different things. I do, again, I'm an Xbox guy. You're a PlayStation guy.
Yes.
Let's talk about price later because I don't want to think about it right now.
Nope, I don't want to because my wallet is already crying.
Let's start with this. What do you want to see out of the PlayStation 5? If you could imagine your perfect console, what would you want it to do?
My perfect console, probably for a PlayStation, would be like full backwards compatibility, going all the way back to PS1 and being able to play those, not just, rent them, maybe be able to put like my old disc in there and, have it upload that way. They probably won't do that, but maybe with the PlayStation Now or, another subscription membership where you can be able to have access to all those. And hey, if you decide you still want to have those games, you can download them digitally and keep them.
There's a console that does that.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't going to say anything.
Did you know that?
You know what?
I think our fans want to know. Tell them.
No.
What console does that?
I'm not saying anything.
Which console from Microsoft
New phone, who dis?
has backwards compatibility that you're looking for? Yes, that's right. The Xbox does that. Okay. That's the only time.
You just couldn't resist.
I couldn't, but that's the only time
goodness.
I'm going to do that. Okay?
Why?
I promise.
Why? No, it's
promise.
not. Liar.
No, I will be good. I'll
Okay.
behave.
Mhm.
I promise.
You don't know how to behave.
That is true. What else would you want?
Some of the things that I would love out of the PlayStation 5 is the battery life on the controller. I know because that light is constantly on my PS4, it's like always draining.
Mm-hmm.
Have to charge it overnight and things like that. Whereas, okay, this is a kudos to Xbox. I felt like the battery life on that controller did better.
Mm-hmm.
So
just not rechargeable, unfortunately.
Yeah. But what other things would I like? I would like maybe some classic games coming back, remastered. We've had on the PS4, we've had Ratchet and Clank. They brought back Jak and Daxter. We've had Spyro, Crash.
Right, that's right.
We just got the Final Fantasy VII.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is awesome.
Yes.
It's another one I will never get rid of. Some of those exclusive titles that we've gotten, like, seeing that God of War and Spider-Man, like games that just make it fun to play. Like, I don't need to have a game that I'm going to have to spend like 1 million hours on. Like, Spider-Man was what? Maybe 20...
About 20 hours.
About 20 hours.
If you did, and I did a bunch of the side quests. I didn't do every activity in side quests, but I did a bunch of them.
Enough to enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a perfect mark, amount of time for me. That was just, oh my goodness. When you get to like 40, 50 hours, it's like, okay,
yeah,
let's wrap it up.
I personally only want that kind of hours of gameplay is if I'm playing like a role-playing game. So like, your Final Fantasies and things like that, your JRPGs.
Yeah. Good point.
If I'm playing just like an action-adventure, story-driven game, I don't need that much from it because probably 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to play it again after that unless I'm reminiscing going down memory lane just because I enjoyed the story. Some other things that I would love, and they would have to take a page from Xbox on this, but I would like to have the option to be able to customize my controller.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, I will give this a point to Ryan and his side with Microsoft that
thank you.
You can do your customization on your controllers and have it personalized, things like that.
That's right. With the design lab, you can pick different colors for the buttons, for the exterior. You can have your gamer tag etched into it. You can have it, what is the word I'm looking for? Gradient, where it's like solid at the bottom and then kind of fades out.
Yeah.
Into a different, is that gradient? Is that the right word?
It's kind of like two-tone. Just kind of has like that fade.
Okay, yes. That's right. I learned something today, folks.
There you go. You're going to learn.
I'm going to learn.
Hey, Ron.
I'm going to learn today. Well, lots of options.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of very cool options. and the price is not too shabby. It's maybe $20 more than a normal console.
Yeah.
And I think a little bit more for shipping, but not terrible.
But
You're in the price point where they'll give you free shipping because you're over $60, $70, that kind of thing.
It's not something you're going to do a lot of times.
No.
You maybe will do that 1 or 2 times because you get one customized controller, you shouldn't need to get another one.
That's right.
Because you're going to be buying all the other special edition controllers that are coming out.
That's exactly right. Did I tell you my design lab story?
Mm-mm.
I don't think I ever did.
What happened?
First E3, I was busy, quote unquote, working.
Mm.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Jason over at Game Octane says, you better go and play every game possible or else you can't come back. And I said, wow, okay, that's rude, but okay, fine. And
Shots fired.
Yeah. So they announced the design lab, and they had special E3 design lab controllers.
And you missed it.
Yep.
Yep.
However, the pain went away pretty quickly because I was able to interview the lead developer of Sea of Thieves, Mike Chapman. Yeah.
Nice.
He was the coolest. He is the coolest.
That is a special edition controller that you should have in your collection too.
Yeah.
That thing is beautiful.
Oh, Sea of Thieves. That controller is amazing. Glow in the dark, purple, green. More turquoise than green.
Yeah.
And also etched in there, it looks like
feels,
coral. Anyway.
Feels nice.
It's so nice. Yeah. Having better custom design options.
Yes.
Because PlayStation, they do have some special controllers every once in a while.
They do. I want
the
more.
Goku, right? The orange and blue. They came out with that. And about 50 different camos.
Yeah, enough with the camo controllers. The only camo I liked was the red one, and I took too long and didn't get that one. So
okay.
I'm a little butthurt on that, but it's okay.
That's all right. Xbox did the same thing. They went all camo, and it's like, cool dudes.
Well, what about you with Xbox Series X? What do you want?
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. What do I want? I want a lot. I'm going to be a little greedy.
Oh, man, here we go.
I'm going to be a little greedy.
He got needs, y'all.
I do. When someone asks me what I want in a game, I'm going to first and foremost talk about story. I want an engaging story. I want a protagonist I can root for, or even a protagonist if I hate him, at least I want to know his progress or her progress, and I want to know what comes next. What are they gonna do? Where does the story end? I want to be hooked that way and engaged that way in a story.
Give me an example.
So let's talk Gears of War.
Okay.
Gears of War 5, Kate, her story.
Okay, there you go.
So spoilers. I mean, the game came out last year, people. You should have played it.
Everybody's played it, been there, done that, bought a t-shirt.
So the story of Gears 5 kind of goes through her past, where she's discovering things that she didn't know about and connections with the Horde, with
the bad guys.
Yes, exactly. So she's discovering all kinds of different things about where she came from, how she came about, I guess you can say, again, without spoiling too much.
Right.
And it was done in such a cool way where it was partial open world, where you had some flexibility in some areas where you can go, but it kind of kept you, from going too far off the beaten path. Every little side thing that you could do during those open world sections, there was a purpose to it, and they were important to the story.
Okay.
So there are some times, let's say Grand Theft Auto, where there's a million side missions, and you're like, I'm not going to get through this. So they kept an open world concept that contained to fit the story. And not only the story, but the lore, the whole universe, the Gears universe, finding out more about the people and what they've gone through since the immersion day. So that's an example.
Okay.
Was the game graphically superior than other games? No, it looked nice.
It was a beauty game.
Yeah. Very beautiful game, right? I wouldn't say it, blew my mind and my eyeballs were like burning out because of how beautiful it was, but it looked nice. But so for me, the story and the characters are super important. That's what I care about. I don't really care too much about the graphics.
Okay.
Because the prettiest game can still be a turd.
Yes.
It really can.
No matter how you polish it, a turd is a turd.
A turd is a turd. So with me, I want Xbox to have really engaging, critically important stories from their launch titles.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just launch titles. Sorry, yes, launch titles are very important, but they're first-party studios.
Okay.
Past couple years, they've made a huge deal about all these studios that they've either picked up or formed. And some of the names on there are like all-star people that worked on countless amazing games. And they've been radio silent. They haven't really said a lot. So July is going to be a huge deal because they're going to have a show that will talk about what their first-party studios are going to do and what they have been working on these past few, 2-3 years. So for Xbox, I hate to say it because everyone harps on them for this, but their first-party titles, that's going to be a huge thing that they need to nail with this. So I want really, really good one. We know Halo Infinite's going to come out. That's going to be good. It's Halo.
It's Halo.
It's Halo. We love it. So we know that's going to be good. But what are these other studios are going to do? I mean, there's I think 9 in the family now, and the Xbox Game Studios. So what are they going to work on? What do we want? There's one from Obsidian that's like a survival game. It almost reminds you. You remember the trailer? It almost reminds you of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So you're like shrunk down in the backyard. And you're surviving multiplayer.
Yeah, that one intrigued me.
Yeah, Grounded is what it's called. So I'm intrigued by that. I'm like, okay, cool. I like that. So what else are they going to announce? That's going to be a huge deal. I think for me, second on my list will be performance. I get a little jealous of the PC Master Race that unlock all these crazy frame rates. That are, it just makes everything in the game just look just liquid smooth. Just beautiful how everything is smooth and runs well. I know the Xbox Series X is supposed to get to 60 frames per second, which is good.
Okay, we'll see.
I mean, at this point, I don't think they'll ever catch PC.
They're
running at 120 or
it's more. Apples to oranges. It's hard to...
Exactly right. So I want it to perform well and this is a big, this is where I'm getting real greedy. I don't want my console to sound like an airplane engine taking off.
What, you don't?
No.
Oh, come on.
No. I don't want it to blow up.
I mean, it's not going to blow. It's just going to drown out everything else.
Oh, no. I don't want to feel the heat coming from it. I want it to be a nice, cool machine.
But we're in Utah. It gets cold. Don't you want that little space heater?
I'm fat, man. I got all the I got all the cushion to keep me warm. Don't worry about it.
I wasn't going to say anything about your mask, but okay.
It's all right. It's all right. More to love, people. More to love. So that's just a personal preference. I would just really like that. I would love to finally, my last thing, and they've started doing this. We've seen a lot of crossplay between Xbox and PC.
I want to see. I agree. I'd like to see between Xbox and PlayStation.
Yes, let's just bury the hatchet.
We're all friends here. We're all gamers.
Yep. And I think Sony is more willing, and Xbox is all for it. So we're gonna get there eventually. Okay. We're gonna get there.
Sweet.
Because right now, crossplay between console and PC, especially if you're playing like a shooter like Call of Duty, it's just there's no comparison. It's not fair. PC's gonna win.
Oh yeah.
Every time, 9 times out of 10. So having more options to be able to play with other consoles, I think it's gonna be pretty huge. So we talked about just preferences, lists of things that we want that we may not get. How about games? Any games? And I'll go first because I know right off the bat there's a couple games I want to see that I will never see, but I want to see it. First, I want to see a new Left 4 Dead.
Ooh.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ooh,
I want it. I want it bad.
I still had nightmares about the was it the Banshee?
No, the Witch.
Or the Witch. The Witch,
Ooh,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just hear that.
Yep.
Ah.
Yeah. I've had so many good memories playing with friends in Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. I want a number 3, and I want it to be beautiful, running on the X or running on PlayStation 5. I just want high definition, graphics and beautiful zombie carnage. That's what I want that I'll probably never get, but I'll always want that, and I'll shout it from the rooftops. I want that every single day. I want a new Fable. Yes, I said it.
Okay.
I said it.
That game still rubs me the wrong way for some reason. I don't know.
Why? It's harmless.
It's harmless, but you know, some of the things like, you know, how your appearance was affected how things went. And, you know, this came out when I was like in high school. So cornrows were a thing. So you lost like charisma points for having cornrows. I was like, really?
I think it's more actions though. Wasn't it more actions?
Was
than
it
the actual?
actions?
Yes. Yeah, if you do bad stuff, you grow horns. Like that's
No, I
Yes.
was good.
you're
I do not play a villain when I play these video games. I try, and then my moral compass comes in.
right.
I've done one game where I was a villain, and that was the Mass Effect series, just because I got more stuff done. Is it, you know?
And then you got a taste for evil. And then
I did.
Yeah.
I'm on the dark side now.
Okay. All right.
I like the red eyes.
I'm a little scared.
You should be.
Good. Okay. This is the appropriate emotion then.
Yes. Be afraid.
Yes. I enjoyed the original Fable trilogy, so I would love maybe one more. Just kind of see what they could do, bringing it to next gen. What could that mean? How could it run? Where could the story go? So that's what I would prefer. Another one I would like. I'll preface this with lots of rumors about this, but a new Batman, obviously. That's one I want. I don't need it to be Xbox exclusive. I just want a new one, a new from the Arkham series. I want it on next gen consoles.
Well, kind of speaking on that, like, I think they could do, with the success of like the Arkham series and Spider-Man, I think they could do other superheroes and do it justice. Like maybe we could for once get a good Superman game.
Yes.
And not want to break it like Superman 64. That abomination.
I personally have an idea in my head for a Kingdom Come video game.
Ooh. If you guys haven't read Kingdom Come, that is probably one of the best graphic novels and comic books that is out there. Like you probably can look it up online. I have a copy. If you know me, you can borrow it as long as you take care of it, because that is like my favorite one.
Yeah. Because it answers the haters who think that some superheroes are overpowered. Superman, right? He wasn't really overpowered in Kingdom Come. So, and there was a lot of new generation who were needing to get they needed to get rectified.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, beautiful story. I could see it visually coming to life on a next gen console and being phenomenal.
Yeah.
So that's what I would prefer. Besides that, in terms of Xbox, I want them just to come up with original stuff. It doesn't need to be, Fable would be really the only like remake. I don't need a bunch of remakes or reimaginings. Just have their studios come up with new stuff. I think that would be cool. So anyway, I took too much time talking about that.
You're good.
Any titles off the top of your head that you would like to see on a PlayStation? Because we know, like Last of Us Part 2, it comes out in June. I'm sure we'll get an upgraded version on PlayStation 5, for example. So we know some titles are going to go on there, but what would you prefer to see?
I don't know that there's one that I prefer to see. I think, probably Spider-Man for sure.
Yes.
I mean, the cliffhanger and that is, I want to be able to play as Miles and maybe some other characters and just, go through that story, because Insomniac Studios just, they know what they're doing. Like they took that title and they made gold.
Yes, they did. Awesome, amazing game.
But other than that, kind of like what you're saying, I want to see some new titles that are going to be fun and engaging. Like we don't have to see a lot of re-releases and remasters of titles that we've already seen, unless we're going to go old school. But I won't go into that can of worms. We can save that for another episode.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yeah, that's kind of just my 2 cents on that. I know we're kind of running out of time, and we've got like one more thing we wanted to kind of go over with you guys.
That's true. The only thing I will say about PlayStation is I want something. I do want something like Uncharted. Just a good action adventure.
Open world adventure.
Yes.
Great story.
Yes.
Gameplay mechanics.
Exactly. That's what I would like. We don't need to continue that story,
No.
the Uncharted story, because it's been told, and it's been told remarkably well.
Yeah.
Wonderful games if you haven't played it before. But I just want something like that, a good action adventure.
Oh yeah.
Something cool like that. So now we've avoided it enough. We at some point we need to assume and guess prices.
Price point, I feel like it's going to be bananas.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw this out there, and I
Okay.
could be.
Oh, but before you do,
sorry.
let me say this: the current Xbox One X is $500. The PlayStation 4 Pro is $400, or is it also $500?
Like when they first came out, or
Probably now.
no?
I think it's $400 now, right?
Yeah, the Pro. Yeah, because we sell those at work for like $399.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the PlayStation 4 Pro, like $399, $400. The Xbox One S, which is like the lower version
Mhm.
of all the Xboxes. That one you can usually find it for $250, or if you wait long enough, on sale for $200. And same thing for the all digital version that they have of the Xbox.
The all digital is like 200, 150, somewhere around there. Yeah.
That's right. So with just with that for prices. Okay, hit me with it. What do you think?
I'm just gonna throw it out there and say, like, the low hand, Lindsay Lohan. No, wow, we went there.
We went there.
On the low end, maybe 500 to 600.
Okay.
On the high end, I hope not for my wallet's sake, like 7. But I think that would be kind of. I think that would be kind of crazy,
right?
Because not everybody, at least in their right mind, is going to have that kind of money just to throw on a new console.
Yes, that's true. Well, especially now.
Especially right now.
Oh my goodness,
times are rough.
Yes, they are. We're gonna need every cent that we can for a while. They've said that they're not going to push it back. I still don't know. I don't think they can choose whether they push it back or not. I think it's just
reveal all.
Exactly right. If it's up to the executives at Sony and Microsoft, they want to release holiday season, but it may not be up to them, depending on how everything is right now. I like where your head's at. I feel comforted because the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, has said that he has some leeway with pricing the Xbox Series X.
Okay.
So the Microsoft dudes and dudettes, they trust him with Xbox, handling Xbox, trying to get a price that is good. So this is my guess. I think PlayStation 5 is going to come in at $550.
Okay.
Or sorry, $549.99. What
retail price,
whatever you want to say. So yeah, $550. Xbox, I think, is either going to match it at $550, or, and this is the pessimistic side of me, I think it's going to be $600. I hope I'm wrong. I hope both Microsoft and Sony find a way to make them both $500. I would love that. I just think it's going to be a little bit of a bigger price point. And I think especially when we find out more information about like the things that come with it. So controllers, accessories. Yes. Will it come with a headset? Will the Xbox Series X come with like a month subscription of Game Pass, which would be the smart thing to do?
Yeah, yes.
If I'm sure they're going to do something that.
Yeah.
At least a 2-week trial, because they always have 2-week trials that come with it. So that's what I'm thinking. It's still going to be stupid expensive, but hopefully it'll
just
be
take my money and get it over with.
Yeah. I better just save sell my Xbox One X,
right?
Just to start saving money.
Start selling bud.
We're hoping we're wrong. In terms of price, we're hoping we're right in terms of what kind of games we want to see and features we want to see. We would have loved to hear your feedback, though. Feel free to leave a comment on our Twitter page, which is, again, @EnterCodePod, or it's the same thing on Facebook. So just search EnterCodePod, and you'll be able to leave a comment or suggestion. Let us know your thoughts. What do you think next gen's going to look like? What kind of pricing do you think it is? What kind of games do you want to see? And we'd love next episode to talk about some feedback of what you guys comment. So let us know. Let us know what you think. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time we have for today.
So long, farewell.
Oh, he does say goodbye. Okay.
No, I'm not dancing in the background.
We will never do that again.
Don't lie, we probably will.
I know, but we'll have to come up with a better, just a different song.
Yes.
Something we make up our own, you know? We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it.
We got this.
That's right. Before we go, though, we have an announcement to make. Last episode, we wanted people to follow our Twitter page and be entered into a contest to win a PC key for Streets of Rage 4. And we have randomly selected a winner. And the winner is Darth Maul 23 Gaming. Darth, thank you so much for not only following the page, but also leaving some great comments and some feedback. We really appreciate it.
Yes, we appreciate the support.
That's right. We will send that code to you as soon as possible. And so you can get playing, because Streets of Rage 4 is, for me, one of the top games of the year so far.
That's where it's at, man.
I love it. Oh,
mindless beat 'em up, great soundtrack. I'm not going to get on that sandbox again.
I know, that's right.
Yes.
Next episode, what do we want to see in Streets of Rage 5? No.
To be continued.
That's right. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you guys tuning in and giving us a chance. We hope you enjoy the show. Leave us some feedback. Leave us some questions on our social media page.
Yeah. We want to hear from you guys. Like, if there's something you want to hear, let's talk about. If you know, doesn't have to necessarily be video games, wrestling, movies, retro cartoons, something you think we can just have a fun time talking about. Like,
that's right.
We're here for you.
That's right. Next episode, Panthro, the greatest character of all time. Let's discuss.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, that was a lot quicker than I thought it would be. Okay, so episode 5.
Actually, Snarf is the best character of all time. But...
Oh, gosh. Okay, we need to wrap this
up.
up.
No, Snarf. Snarf.
Stop it. Thank you again for listening. Please follow us on Twitter, like our page on Facebook. If you go to anchor.fm, search for Enter Code Podcast, it'll have links to all of our podcast services. We are on Spotify, which has been, I think, at least looking at the data, most of the people have been listening on Spotify, which is fantastic. We're working on getting our Google Podcast link working. Mm-hmm. It's set up, but it's still not functioning.
Technology is great.
Technology is great. And we're hopefully going to have a solution as well to getting on Stitcher, so we can have a few more listeners that way.
Yes, sir.
So we're getting out there. We just need your feedback, and we need your comments and your suggestions. So again, follow us on Twitter, leave a like on Facebook, go to anchor.fm, leave us a voice message on our page.
Have fun with it.
Oh, yeah.
We're here for the fun.
So we can get you in on the next podcast. Until then, again, my name is Ryan Welch, and I'm with Triple J, John Dickinson Jr. And this is going to be releasing on Monday, which is Memorial Day. So take care of yourselves. Have a great Memorial Day. Thank those who have served in the armed forces.
Yes.
Eat a hot dog safely.
Safely. Don't choke on the hot dog.
Please do. Well, and also social distancing.
Yes.
That too. Be safe. We love you guys. We'll see you next episode.
Bye.
Bye.